and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it is time for the Champions League, where Barca will be coming up against Young Boys on Tuesday, and we need to be ready to hit back after our defeat against Osasuna at the weekend. And today, Hansi Flick again was in confident mood. He is ready to get that statement win in the Champions League, and today he spoke about Frenkie de Jong's return to the team. We've got big news as well on Gavi, and we also have to talk about Szczesny, who is now in Barcelona and has completed his medical. All of that is on the way here today, so come on and let's do this. Because I do want to start here today, guys, with a very big shout out to Louise from Miami, Florida, who has given here a fantastic super thanks donation, and he is predicting a 3-0 victory for Barca on Tuesday. 2 goals there from Lewandowski and 1 from Lamine Yamal. We're going to have all of the predictions coming up later on in the video. Big thank you as well here today to Fahim and to Eric for the fantastic support. And right here, guys, we're kicking off again in the Champions League. It's match day 2, but of course, time is on our side. We did lose our first game against Monaco, but as with the new format, we now have 7 more matches to come. We play here at home against Young Boys. After this, we play Bayern. So very, very important here to get off the mark, to get a good victory by a good margin, because we do still have big games to come. There is pressure on us to perform in the Champions League, and now is the time to deliver. Because when you are looking at our opponents, Young Boys, they were actually beaten 3-0 at home by Aston Villa in matchday 1. But I think even right here, forgetting about the Champions League, forgetting about their form in this competition, even domestically right now in the Swiss Super League, Young Boys are really, really struggling. They've had a bad start of the season. They are 11th out of just 12 teams, and they've only got 6 points after 8 games played here. So quite clearly, we're coming up against an opponent who are struggling for confidence. And certainly when asked about Young Boys in his press conference, Flick did allude to that. He said, we have analysed our opponent, as we do with any opponent, but he did say they've had a rough start to the season, but they're still brave, and we need to be careful in this game. He said our mentality must be the right one. And I think Flick here, what he will want to do is make sure the team are not taking Young Boys lightly. At the end of the day, it's still a Champions League game. There's still a lot for us to play for here, and we cannot afford any more slip-ups, because that was certainly the tone of the press conference today with Hansi Flick. The questions that came his way, there was lots of talk here about the defeat at the weekend. Lots of talk as well about the defeat against Monaco. He was actually asked, do you feel as though this is the game that you felt the most pressure in here as the Barca coach so far? Do you feel under pressure right now? But Flick did say, pressure? What do you mean pressure? He said we always have pressure on us to perform. He said that's our job here, that's Barca. He said we all have it in our day-to-day jobs. He said we want to win matches. That's how you deal with pressure. He said we want to move on from the loss against Monaco, and the same there with Osasuna. He's only looking forward. He wants to take it one game at a time here. We've got to move quickly on after these defeats, and we know we've got to win here. It's as simple as that. The journalists, though, in typical style, did not give up. They kept asking Flick over and over and over again here, well, what about that Monaco game, though? What about that defeat against Monaco? What about losing your first game in the Champions League? Is it going to make things more tricky here with the new format? But Flick said, no, we want to win this game. We're not going to be down that we lost the first game in the Champions League. He said there's a reason why it ended that way. He said now we're at home, we want the win, we want to pick up as many points as we possibly can. He said, I want to win all the games. I expect to win all the games, and I'm positive that we can do that. So again, there was absolutely no sense from Hansi Flick here that he was going to accept any negativity. The journalists here have tried to sort of feel as though there's pressure on this game, there's a bit of a down feeling, negative feeling after defeat at the weekend, but Flick said no, we're not having any of that. We're focusing on this game, we want to win this game, and we're going to do it. I did also think, guys, that it was really interesting as well in today's press conference that Marc Asado was the man chosen to face the media, and it was actually brought to him there, the question that even the fact that you're here, the fact you're in a Champions League press conference here for Barcelona, that shows knows how well you are doing. You are having a fantastic season in the first team. And he was asked there about the influence of Hansi Flick on this team and on himself. And he said, the coach has helped me a lot to get the best out of me. He gives me a lot of confidence. He's very direct in what he expects from me. He helps me to understand the game. And he said, I'm really, really grateful to Hansi Flick, and I'm really happy to have him as a coach. And certainly there, Casado, he is definitely one of those players that Flick has taken under his wing there. He's worked very closely with him. He's relied heavily on him, bearing in mind that Casado has only just made that step up to the first team, but it doesn't look that way. The way that he's been playing, the way that we missed him, by the way, when he didn't start against Osasuna, that shows us already how important he is becoming. But he was actually asked, though, Casado, about Frenkie de Jong's return. Of course, they play in the same position. Are you thinking about that? Are you thinking about, competition coming your way? What's your feeling on that? He said Frenkie's return is beneficial for everyone. He said the more players who are available, the more competition there is for us, and the better that we can all play. He said, I hope that Frenkie can play very, very soon, because I'm sure that he will bring a lot to the team. And I've got to say that as a young player, you're fighting for your place, you want to be in the team every week, that is a great attitude to have from Casado there. Because, yeah, Frenkie plays in the same area as him, but look, we want more and more players available. We want real competition there for places. We want quality in this squad. It's good for everybody to have that, and great to hear that there from Casado, which then does bring us on to the very big news right now, guys, on Frenkie de Jong himself, because even just a few days ago there, over the weekend, he actually came out with an interview with Barça 1, Barca's in-house media channel, and he sort of wanted to take the opportunity to address some of the rumours that we were hearing whilst he was out there. He spoke a lot there regarding the surgery, whether to have it, whether not to have it, what we've been hearing, and also he denied again that he earns 37 million euros a year. He said that's a very big figure, and it's very far from what I earn at this club. And it seems there that Frenkie wanted to have his say. He wanted to speak out there before he came back. But the most important thing is having him back again, having him available in this team again, being able to contribute there out on the field. Let the club worry now about his contract situation. What we want to worry about is the football, what happens there out on the field. And right now, he seems really excited. It's taken him a while to get over that ankle problem. There was lots of doubts, lots of uncertainty surrounding it. But I think he's been watching this team under Flick, and he's got to be excited about making his way back into it and what he can contribute there in our midfield, because the great news is that he will receive the medical green light. He is going to be ready to play in the Champions League on Tuesday against Young Boys, and we have been waiting for this big news here from Frenkie de Jong. And today, Flick couldn't hold back his excitement. You could see their big smile on his face. He said, this is brilliant news for the club. To have Frenkie back with us, it brings us all joy. It's really important to have him back. And he said, now we're seeing slowly but surely the injured players come back. He said, by October, we're going to have 2 or 3 more in the squad. He said Frenkie's attitude has been great. He's always involved with the team. He's willing as well to help the young players, and he could not speak highly enough of the impact there of Frenkie de Jong on this team. But speaking more about tomorrow, how much could we see him? Is he ready to play a number of minutes? Could he actually contribute in tomorrow's game? Flick did say, we're going to see how the game evolves. He said, already we know that we don't have Eric in midfield. He's suspended there because of the red card against Monaco. He said, with Frenkie, we do need his presence, and now is the opportunity. He said he probably can't play 45 minutes, but 10, 20 minutes, it's possible, and everything right now is pointing to us seeing Frenkie back in action after such a long time, so many months of waiting. He is very nearly back, and let's see what he can do. Let's see what he brings to a Hansi Flick team. However, guys, wait right there, because the good news, it is not about to stop, and especially regarding injuries here, we are getting closer and closer and closer to big players coming back, because now, let's talk about Gavi. He is closing in, guys. He is closing in on his return. We're hearing in the media this morning, very widely reported, that Gavi has no pain, no discomfort at all any longer. He is 100% recovered from his injury, and apparently, it's exactly what we expected with him, with his character, with his tenacity. Apparently the club, they're having to hold him back. They're having to say, listen, we've got to go slowly with you. You can't quite return yet. Just wait a few more days, a few more weeks here, because apparently if it was up to him right now, he'd be there. He'd be out on the pitch. He'd be competing week upon week upon week. But what we're hearing is, after the international break, they're just going to give Gavi this little period longer. After the international break, he's going to be ready. He is going to be back as well with the team, with the group there. And just imagine having Gavi just back amongst the squad here, just back within that dressing room. It is going to be an absolutely incredible feeling. Even that would give everybody around him a boost, given the energy that he brings, both on and off the field. But we're getting so close now. These big names, Frenkie de Jong, Gavi, we've got Fermin, we've got Dani Olmo as well to come back, of course. It's getting better for us, guys. We're getting our players back, and then we're gonna cook. However, guys, before we come on to the lineup and the predictions, I do just want to talk here about one player who has come back and has been back for a while, and we still haven't quite been able to see him. We still didn't manage to see Ansu Fati against Osasuna, but surely now, this is the game for him. This is the opportunity against Young Boys here. If we come into this game, if we start strong, if we're a few goals ahead, we hope to be, surely this is the moment that we see Ansu's full return to the team. And he was so close, by the way, to coming on against Osasuna. He was stripped and ready. He was on the sidelines there about to come on before Sergi Dominguez picked up an injury. Then we had to use our final sub to replace him in that game. So Ansu Fati here has been so unfortunate. It just hasn't quite clicked. It hasn't quite worked out for him. But this is the game. Surely now, this is his moment. But what is Hansi Flick going to do from the start here? And I've got to be honest with you guys, I think it's quite straightforward. We rotated a lot on Saturday against Osasuna. We know that didn't work out, but we also know that several key players in this team had a little bit of rest. You know, they were able to get that bit of sharpness, that bit of freshness back. And now in the Champions League, we unleash them. And what Flick is going to do is go strong and go big here against Young Boys. We are going to see the Gala backline. Koundé, Pau Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez and Alejandro Balde. Casado and Pedri will be holding in midfield there. There's no Eric Garcia. Frenkie de Jong will come on later. We hope to see that happen. But then it's all about the attacking third, because obviously Lewandowski is going to lead the line. Lamine Yamal is going to be in there. Now for me, I would play Rafinha in a central position. I still don't feel as though we've figured out that role since Dani Olmo got injured, and I think Rafinha is still the best man for the job there. But then, who do you play on the left-hand side? Because obviously Ferran Torres is available, but I would go with Pau Victor, guys. I think he had a real impact against Osasuna. He scored. I was actually surprised again when he was taken off, and I just think he's a hard worker, he's adaptable, he makes good runs, he's got a really good eye for goal. Play him on the left. Play Rafinha down the middle. You've got the absolute wonder kid on the right, Lamine Yamal, who scored a rocket against Osasuna. And Robert Lewandowski, he's the man for the Champions League. Which does then bring us on to the big match predictions, guys. And remember, for the Champions League, it is double points on offer here. It's 3-3 right now between us on the scoreline, and this means that 4 points will be given for the correct margin and 6 points will be given for guessing the correct first Barca goal scorer. And right now, guys, for the first Barca goal scorer, you've gone with either Rafinha or Lamine Yamal. And I decided to do it in this way right now, because obviously if everybody's just listed individually, 9 times out of 10 you're going to go for Lewandowski. So what I've tried to do here, just switch things up, put Rafinha and Yamal together, and it was quite close, wasn't it? But you guys believe it will be Rafinha or Yamal, so I am going with the man for the Champions League. I am going here for a Robert Lewandowski goal, and I would not be surprised if he walked away from this game with the match ball. I feel as though here there's a hat-trick being prepared right now, just there for the taking for Robert Lewandowski, because when we're looking at the margin of victory here, a lot of you couldn't decide what to do. Many people going with 3 goals, but so many as well thinking this is going to be big. 5+ goals was a really popular option, but you guys in the end have stuck with the 3-goal margin, so I am going to go better. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go bigger. Barca to win by 5+ goals. I think we're going to see it. I think everything here is aligned for Barca to come out and just show people, okay, we know we've had a few defeats, we've had a few off days recently, but we are here to entertain, to score goals, to put teams well beyond reach, and that can happen in this one. It's going to be a big performance, and it is going to be a big response from Hansi Flick's team. But of course, guys, today as well, we also have to discuss some really big news right now going on at the club, because Wojciech Szczesny's arrival, it is imminent. It is about to become official. He arrived this morning in Barcelona. He underwent his medical examination. Great news on that. Everything went absolutely fine. No problems at all. So we're all clear now to make this signing official and to get it confirmed. Fabrizio Romano said today that Szczesny's salary at the club, he'll have a contract until 2025 in the summer, and his salary is way lower. That's the way that he described it. Way lower than what he was earning at Juventus. He can be registered in the Champions League, and he could even attend the game at home tomorrow against Young Boys. And I know it is a really special moment here for lots of the Polish Barca fans watching on and seeing two of their absolute legends now, Lewandowski and Szczesny, at the club. Big thank you here for these super thanks coming in. And remember that Lewandowski, such a big part of getting Szczesny and convincing him here that, hey, this is an opportunity that you should take. But I just want to say, guys, before we come on to Flick's words on Szczesny here, my belief is he will be the number one. Now, I honestly believe that here. I believe somebody of his experience, his quality, his know-how between the sticks, he's going to come in and be the number one once he's up to speed after the international break. Now, I believe here the club wanted to give Iñaki Peña confidence. They wanted to say, look, you can do it. You are our goalkeeper, because we knew he's going to be our goalkeeper for several games here. While Szczesny gets himself signed and ready, we wanted to give Iñaki Peña every opportunity. But I just think right now, it's going to take something really special from Peña, something we haven't really seen from him so far. He's got to be more dominant in that goalkeeping area. We haven't seen that yet, and he will need to produce it if he's going to stop Szczesny from taking his spot in the team. Because today, Hansi Flick was indeed asked there, will Szczesny be the starting goalkeeper? Has he received any guarantees about coming in and becoming the number one when he signed? We heard that maybe that might be a possibility, but I do just want to say, Flick outright denied that, guys. He said, normally I won't talk about players who aren't here. He said, right now, officially, Szczesny is not here. By the weekend, I'll be able to talk more about it. But he said, what I can say, no player under me will get a guaranteed fixed starting place. He said, this is Barca. That is not something that we are going to do. But I think what you have to do there is look into those words as a general expression from Hansi Flick. He's not necessarily saying there that Szczesny won't be a starter. He's just saying, look, nobody in my team is a guaranteed starter, and nobody should be. We should have healthy competition. Every player there should earn their place in the team. So if Szczesny comes in and doesn't perform, well, Peña then has to be ready to get that spot back. And if Peña plays really well before Szczesny arrives, then of course he will keep hold of that goalkeeping shirt. But right now, we've got important games to come. Iñaki Peña will still get more opportunities, more chances there to shine, but can he take them? What will we see against Young Boys, and then what will we see at the weekend before the break against Alaves, guys? Do let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to see Szczesny come in and become that number one? Is he the man that you place your trust in for the rest of the season? Let me know all of that in the comments down below, and of course, let me know your predictions. What's the score going to be? Who's going to score first? And will it be a special Champions League night for Barca on Tuesday? Thank you indeed for everybody here tuning in and for all of the great support. I'll see you after the game, where hopefully there will be some celebration. Thank you indeed, guys. But until next time, as always, Vejska, Real Barca.